Hi students, I thought I would make a little video for you to help walk you through the steps in preparation for your midterm exam, which for your class is Tuesday, October 8th and Thursday, October 10th. We'll use both class periods. So we're doing the evaluative essay. We started that last week and you were given the list of criteria for that and you had do your criteria worksheet. That's the most recent assignment. And so as the direction said, and I've been talking about in class, so we watched the three short films, Blue, Pearl, and Hope, and you were to choose one film to write about, okay? So we covered all these criteria during class when we were watching them together, and I said, here's your, worksheet, make sure you fill this out. And so now that's the assignment that's due Tuesday, October 1st. So you were supposed to pick the film. And let's just say that you did Blue. And then you should have watched it at least 2 times because we did supposed to be 1 time out of class, 1 time in class. But I really recommend you watch it at least 1 or 2 more times before you write about it next week. So you were supposed to take that one and then using this worksheet, fill in on each of these 10 categories what we observed. And we did this in class. We talked about the quality of animation, and we learned from each one that we looked at some of the different languages and ways that we would talk about that. We talked about the message or moral, whether it had any use of humor, the use of color, the use of dialogue, music, how well it kept your interest, the appropriateness for a college audience, and the upsetting content, and if it was appropriate for young children. All right, so that's the assignment that is current, and the next one is the outline. So in our module 6, which is this week, evaluative essay outline, I've given you 2 sample evaluative outlines so that you can remember that format that we used in essay 1, but the application of it is different because now we're writing an outline for an evaluative essay. So you've picked your film. Let's review our steps. You pick your film from the 3. You've done the criteria worksheet, which is your brainstorming, guided brainstorming research and analysis on that film, because you have to have criteria by which you evaluate. And then now you're going to make your judgment. Okay, your outline is when you've picked what's going to actually go into your essay. And remember, we don't use all 10 criteria. We pick our magic 3. So you're going to have an outline with 5 numbers on it, 1 for each paragraph. It can be Arabic numbers like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or as an example, number 2, it can be Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1 for each paragraph matches up. So the introduction. The only jobs I need covered here are the background and the thesis. The background identifies the subject, which in our case is a film. What we noted on the second sample outline is just there were some shortcomings in this one. Okay, didn't have the background. We don't recall when 12 Angry Birds came out, some things like that. You're not doing 12 Angry Birds. You're not doing McAdoo's. These are samples for you to follow or as a guide, but they're not a template like in essay 1. You're transitioning to where now you're creating your outline, but you're following the model. So I have just a brief background so we know what film it is. The most important part is the thesis, and it needs to be stated like this one in outline 1, where you've got the judgment and the 3 criteria. This was selected atmosphere, customer service, and menu. Okay. The shortcoming of this thesis is we get a judgment but no criteria, so that's incomplete. Right, so then each one of these is going to be represented in the body. The atmosphere, well, that's the first one being discussed, and you'll have a topic sentence for that one. One of the best things about McAdoo's is atmosphere. Or in the case of outline sample 2, the message was the criteria, and the judgment on that is that it was immoral, right? And then you have what you see in both of them is that they have a numbered list of which details they're going to talk about that support that. And the same is down here. The movie shows the solution to bullying is violence. It's about revenge, and the bully was bullied. So they rejected the morality of that message. Okay, in the first outline, their criteria is the superb service, And they say it's going to talk about how prompt it is and courteous, refills and bread, taking care of complaints, and so forth. Then you get the food. They're going to talk about bread, seafood, and the landlubber's menu. And of course, you have to have a brief conclusion. Now, this is the outline, and this is what is graded and due as your second assignment this week. And I'll be commenting, giving you grade for that. But you need to print your outline and take it with you to the midterm. And it has to be like this. It cannot be a paragraph draft. It cannot look like, it cannot have paragraphs. It can have more than one sentence per line, okay? You can only have one, or you won't be able to use it. It will be rejected because that's not an outline, okay? It's a draft. So again, nothing longer than one sentence for each point. There should be 3 subpoints of details. You'll go into detail when you write the essay, but you need to have thought about it. You need to have watched the film so that you have and taken some notes so you can identify the film details that you will discuss in your essay when it's time to write it. Again, the writing process for this is we have the type of essay, introduction to the evaluative essay. We have 3 choices for our subject, a topic that we're going to evaluate, Hope, Pearl, or Blue. Okay, we're using the short film criteria worksheet. The 10 tools of film and screen have things that are not applicable, but they do go into more depth on some of the things that are in our criteria worksheet, like the use of color. It can maybe help expand if that's a criteria you are going to use. We did some initial evaluation based on our subjective preference. That was in our discussion board. Now you're using do now is the film criteria worksheet assignment that I've already gone over, and then next up is the evaluative essay outline. So Thursday should be devoted to that. You'll have your feedback from your worksheet before then, and probably by Wednesday, pretty quick. And then that's your priority. And then you have just a light self-reflection assignments to do as homework for Sunday night, October 6th. I'm going to do a slightly separate video. It's separate in that I'm going to start a new one, but it's going to go over the midterm exam instructions specifically. But this is what you're getting ready for.